What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be reacting to this viral video that's going on with Wes Watson and this guy Andrew. They got into this altercation, this debate on a Fresh and Fit panel. And I have some things to add to the conversation here from being an ex-felon myself, right? So I've been through the prison system. I'm not talking about county jail. I'm talking about prison, right? I've been there. I'm going to answer the burning question that everybody has. Plus, I'm going to go over kind of what's really going on here, right? And how to break down some of the behaviors that are happening. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it.
It's not against Christian ethics to become rich, become wealthy, but I just think it's all beside the point, ultimately. You're trying to go for a single thing, and it's to achieve something greater
than
the person.
Does he have money?
No.
Do you have money?
No. No, I don't have.
How much money do you have?
I don't have money. But here's the thing. Why is money valuable?
How much do you have money?
What is money valuable for?
I'm just asking. Do you have money?
I just said no. I'm broke. I'm a nobody.
No, but really, you are?
Yeah.
Is he really broke?
Yeah.
I just want to know. I have to know.
No, I'm not. I'm not one of these rich guys. I don't have a Bugatti. I don't have a Lambo. I
just really have to know. Like, how much money you got?
So first and foremost, this guy on the right, obviously, is the the guy who was trying to speak, and then Wes Watson is the guy on the left, right, who's coming at him. And guys, I know so many guys like Wes, right, from my time that I spent in incarceration, right? I've been to prison. I'm not talking about county jail. I'm talking about prison, like the place where Wes was for all of that time. And there's a lot of guys like that in there. People say, oh, Wes uses steroids and this and that and the other thing. I don't know, man. I knew a lot of guys in there who had bodies like his, right? Just ripped, pumped up, right? Bald head, beard, ripped Viking guys, white boys, right? And they're in there. Not just Wes, lots of guys like that. But the guy on the right's name is Andrew, and he's starting out correctly because you have to stand up for yourself with guys like that. They're going to do something called a heart check. And what Wes is doing to Andrew right now is a heart check. He's giving him little shots, and he's seeing, okay, is this guy going to stand up to me, or is he going to back down? And in prison, you cannot back down. You must stand up. I'll never forget, man. I was on the yard. There was this Native American kid, right? And one of the top white boys on the yard. And this white boy was heart checking this Native American kid. He was like just talking all smack, right? Talking like just bullying him a little bit, testing him a little bit, heart checking him. Native American guy just smacks him. Boom! And he was just like, holy crap. I mean, this was like one of the big gang guys, right? One of the big gang white boys talking to this guy, just smacks him. Boom! I was like, because I had no grid for any of that. But apparently, the guy laughed about it. Everybody laughed, and it was over. So sometimes when a bully comes at you, and we say bully, but it's just prison politics, guys. When somebody comes at you doing a heart check, you have to stand up to him. You don't have to smack him. That was a little bit ballsy, right? But you can. I mean, you just got to stand up to him. All right, and we'll get more into that. Let's go ahead and continue watching.
Probably the $5 in my pocket, not much more.
Can anyone answer for the guy?
Why do they think I'm kidding? I have a family. I take care of an entire family. That takes a lot of money.
He's doing all right. Okay,
but okay.
This is the thing, you guys. If you ain't fit, you can't say it's not all about being in good shape.
Why not?
If you don't have money, you can't say it's not all about money.
Yeah, why not?
But if he does have money, he can say that.
Why not? Why can't you say that? Why must you have the thing before you hang on, let me ask the question.
Because hypothetical is hypocritical.
Let me ask the question.
Hypothetical is hypocritical.
How do you even know what I was going to say before I've even been allowed to ask the question?
I know what you're going to say.
Then what was I going to say?
You're going to say, why can't you ask the question?
Okay, so that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, how in the world can you create a standard that it's inappropriate to ask somebody, how come if I don't have X thing, because I don't value X thing, does that mean X thing is actually valuable?
You've never experienced it, so you can't speak about it.
You think that I haven't experienced wealth?
I was asking if you did.
Even poor people experience days of wealth.
I was asking if you did. I don't know who you are.
But even poor people experience days of wealth, and so the thing is
No,
it's
definitely not.
definitely so.
Not.
Definitely so.
I've lived the lowest lows and the highest highs.
Well, what's the distinction? After you make X amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you look at the studies done on this, it does not.
I don't fit no fucking studies.
It does not
bro.
hugely improve a person's life.
Are you proud of who the f you are?
Why
Well,
don't
look
you
at.
even
Are
let
you
me
proud?
quit?
If you look in the mirror, would you guys say this motherfucker's proud of who the f he is?
Okay, so now at this point, we're seeing the escalation, right? Wes has stood up. He's not really in his face, but this is called kind of getting in the guy's face. He's escalating it up, right? So he's saying, and when that happens, right, on the inside, when it escalates up like that, it usually ends in violence, right? So there has to be a fight. And what happens is, like, if you get disrespected on the yard, you have to fight. You don't have a choice. If you don't fight, you're going to be a target for the rest of your stay, and it's going to go really bad for you. Because even if you lose, you still have the respect because you stood your ground and you fought. Now, let's say I was in there with Wes, and Wes came at me like that. It sucks, and it would hurt, and I'd probably get a busted face out of the deal and a black eye, but I would have to fight him. I wouldn't have a choice. Now, thank God, when you're in there, people like Wes aren't going to just get in your face like that, right? Unless you disrespect them or unless they're like high on drugs or something, right? But if they do, then you have to fight them, even if they're 500 freaking pounds and they're like 10 feet bigger than you. Even if it's David and Goliath, you don't have a choice. You say, okay, you want to go in the cell? Now you've called them out, right? Now they have to go in the cell or else they're going to be the loser, right? So then you go in the cell and you take your licks. Right? As simple as that. It's just the way that it is on the inside. So, Wes is heart checking him. Now Wes is getting in his face a little bit. And basically what he's saying is, what are you going to do about it? This is a prison mentality. It's not a world mentality. It's not a society mentality. It's not a mentality that we have on the outside. This Andrew guy has no idea what the prison mentality is. He doesn't know what's happening. But I will say this. He stood his ground and he really owned Wes because Wes never did smack him. Wes never did escalate it to that level. So in that sense, and you know why? Because you can't do that here on the outside. Now, I did do that the other day. I should not be doing that, right? I'm supposed to be a Christian and I'm not supposed to be behaving that way. But somebody was talking in a manner that I didn't like. I didn't like the way the guy was talking to me. And so I told him that, right? I got in his face and said, hey, I don't think I like the way you're talking to me. He continued talking that way, so I smacked him. Boom. What are you going to do? So he called the cops. He didn't fight back. He called the cops. Right? And, luckily I didn't go to jail for that. Okay? But, and hopefully the statute of limitations is up. Maybe I won't even put this part in. But anyway, I just admitted a crime. But, yeah, I assaulted somebody. But when you're in prison, that's what you have to do. Okay? So, shout out to Andrew for standing up to listen, no matter what people say, I guarantee you, Wes has way more respect for him for standing up to him than if he would have just laid back and took it. Right? Because that means you don't have any heart. That's what that means. All right, let's continue.
That's a bag of trash, dude. Pull your fucking shirt
Because
off.
I've been-
Tell me you're fucking proud
Because
of yourself.
I've been to f***ing prison?
Jesus Christ,
Because
look
I've been
at
to
you,
prison?
bro. You got 10-inch arms and tits. Men don't have tits.
No, they go to prison where they get yes.
You've never been to prison. Look,
That's
you're
what
talking about shit
happens.
you don't know.
They go to prison where they get raped.
You get your ass beat in front
You
of
think that
everybody.
that's better?
All right, so here's what everybody wants to know. Did you get R-worded in prison? Does the R word happen in prison? Because that's what we all think. You're gonna get done up the backside, right? That's what everybody thinks. That they're not gonna say it, but I guarantee you everybody who knows me wonders that. Okay? The answer is no. I didn't. And I guarantee you Wes didn't. right? What happens on the inside when it comes to that type of activity is usually consensual. Okay, there's usually one guy who's gonna turn that way, and then the whole car, right? Everybody who wants to is gonna use that guy, right? And that's what it really is. Okay, so when you hear all these horror stories about, oh, you're gonna go into prison and you're gonna have the R word happen to you, probably not. I mean, you'd have to be like you'd probably get killed before you got R-worded, right? I mean, you'd probably get stabbed first, right? You'd have to be. I mean, it just doesn't happen like the way that people think. People get turned out, and then it's consensual. Okay, sound like somewhere you want to go? Don't commit a crime. All right, let's continue.
You think that that's better?
Okay, let's let him give his definition of success. And
Having tits and 10-inch arms is what a man is.
Let's
you
let
guys.
let's let him
Please
get his,
don't listen to that.
Wes, let's let him get his thing out, and then
Tits,
We can have different opinions.
Yeah.
titties,
Anyway, back to where I was at.
boobs.
Yeah. Okay. Prison. But anyway, if you want
Yeah.
to follow the successful mantra of a man who tells you he's reformed from prison, understand why they might have gone there to begin with.
All right, so here's another important thing here, and I want you guys to see. This guy says, when you think about taking advice from somebody who went to prison, why don't you think about what they went in for? Now, that is a perfect picture of how our society views people who have gone to prison, who are on the outside. You never, ever lived it down, right? I will never clear my name for as long as I live. Even if I live to be 200 years old, guys, I will never be guiltless in the eyes of society. I will always be a criminal. I will always be judged based on the crime I committed, right? And it will never go away, and it never does. And this guy's reaction is perfect. Well, why did you go to prison in the first place, right? Let's bring that up. And that, unfortunately, that's exactly how our society looks at ex-cons.
And
take
yes,
care of a
I do think that a rejection of materialism is something missing in society, and I do think that true wealth is the family, and I think that true wealth is having a wife, and true wealth, that is what I think it is, and that is what I think truly success is being able to go home and look your family in the face and know that you're doing everything you can to support them. That's
And then
what
when
I
you
think
go to the
success
beach
is.
with your family, they're like, "There's my stud dad right there, standing there.
Do you have-
that stud right there with his shirt off?
Do you have children?
Look at that stud.
Do you have children?
I do have children.
How many?
I have two.
You have two. So, are you saying that your Bugatti and your money and everything
If
else
you
is
saw me
worth more
standing
than your
there,
children?
they'd be like, my dad's a superhero. Look what he brought to the table. Look how hard this guy works. He came from
Sure.
nothing to this.
Yeah.
He's, God damn it.
You're still whining. Stop whining
That
and
is
just
a
make an
product.
argument.
I'll smack your fat ass.
So you're gonna attack?
Straight
You're gonna
up.
attack?
all right.
Nobody's
Do you
whining.
usually attack armed
This is
men
how
in
I
Florida?
talk.
Now there's the call out. I will smack you. So now at this point, it's on Andrew to say, do it then. Right? And so Wes, by saying I will smack you, he escalated it to that point. And then by Andrew not saying do it then, you could say that Andrew backed down, but he really didn't, right? He just doesn't understand what it means to be called out. But if somebody says, I'm going to smack you in prison, then your response is, well, then do it, or you have to hit them. Or you say, let's go to the cell, right? But that's being called out. He called him out. I will smack you. Okay? Some people don't even say that. Some people will just smack you to see what you do. What do? You got to fight. You don't have a choice. Now, Wes did time in GP, which is general population, right? That's where I did my time, right? If you don't do your time in GP, then that means you're doing your time in protective custody, PC. And PCs get killed on the yard, right? PCs have a green light. If you ever catch a PC, you have to hurt that person. This is the rules. This is how it is in prison, right? But it's going to be hard to catch a PC because they're protected, right? The cops are constantly protecting them. So PCs are like people who do things to children and stuff like that. They're not in general population because they'll be killed, right? I mean, if you have to, right? You don't. There's no choice. Somebody who has that type of paperwork, they're out. They're dead. There's nothing they can do to prevent them being killed in prison. So they have to go to PC. Now, GP population, that's where Wes was. GP population, that's where I was. Am I comparing myself? Not really. You know what I mean? I know guys like him, right? But I was not a gangster. I was not a gang member, right? I did my time somewhat solo. I mean, you gotta be clicked up to a certain extent, no matter who you are or what you're doing. But I wasn't like actively involved in a gang, which I'm pretty sure I know who Wes rolls with, right? Which is fine, nothing against that. It just wasn't how I did my time. But I did know people like Wes, and I had interactions with them, and I respected them, and they respected me, and it was cool. It was good. Prison is all about respect, right? This type of stuff back and forth, that will end in somebody getting hurt or somebody getting in a fight. And it's just that's just how it is. All right, let's continue.
Dude,
All right,
look
let's
at
just
your goddamn self.
Okay,
guys.
I've never
guys,
seen such a
dude.
pathetic motherfucker.
Okay, well,
let's chill out a little bit, man. A little bit.
This is not what men
Let's let
look
him.
like.
Let's let him
What do they
finish
look
his
like?
point.
Shit.
What do they look like? Bald prisoners?
Yeah, fuck.
Is that what they look like?
This is the problem in society. Is people like this think they can talk to someone like me like that. They really think they can.
People in society think that they can talk to me like that. They really think they can. Okay, well, they can. And that is hard for you. It's hard for me. It's hard for anybody who comes out of prison. Because in prison, if somebody cuts in front of you in the line, you can smack them, right? You can jack them in their jaw, right? You can, you have the authority to do that. If somebody cuts in out here, no, man. Out here, they can disrespect. They can cut in front of you. They can say whatever they want. And if you do something about it, you're the bad guy. So it doesn't, prison politics doesn't relate to the outside. And this guy, Andrew, probably has no idea at all about prison politics. And so basically what Wes is saying is, you're lucky that you live in this society where you can talk to me like that. Because most societies you wouldn't be able to. And if we were in prison, you definitely wouldn't be able to. That's what he's saying. Okay, so people that say, oh, he's this fake alpha male, he's this over-the-top bully. That's because you don't understand the language. You don't understand how prisoners relate to each other. You don't understand how convicts act, right? You don't know anything about the code, right? And he's basically saying, hey, you live in a society where they're protecting you from people like me. Because if I did something to you, you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. He's not wrong.
He knows he wouldn't do shit about it, and that's the problem.
I mean, you're the one who got hostile for having a difference of opinion.
Dude, check it out. You started coming at me about some other shit. This is what the show is supposed to be about. I like this shit. So personally,
So do
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy
But
blood sports.
We can
games.
agree to disagree.
We can
We
have
can move on, but
we can-
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, men don't have tits. We can agree on that. Physically,
Men usually have hair. We can agree on that, too.
He has
Physically.
crossed over gender barriers.
I think we can see each side has different opinions.
By choice, crossing gender barriers, by growing tits.
So, what about you, brother?
All right, nice.
Crazy. And those are the materialistic people. So you need to show those people there's a new route to make money, building your personal brand, teaching people how to really gain control of their life,
So you help the materialistic people by giving them more materialism?
No, to teach them how to do it without committing crimes.
Yeah,
Fat bull.
but if
Shut
they
up.
weren't,
It's Myron's turn.
focused on
If that was a
materialism,
good
why would
point,
they be
then
focusing
idiot
on
had to
crime?
jump in.
Okay, it's Myron's
Just
turn.
please get this guy a
Oh, how
life-size
can,
mirror
why is
that
it
he
you
can
can
look
take
at.
shots, but if I respond, you get that upset?
Because look at you.
You look
You
at
shouldn't
you.
even be speaking.
You got veins sticking out of your forehead.
That's called a low
You guys,
body
and we can
fat.
see them because you're bald as can be. You're tatted from head to toe. You've been why talk
Okay,
shit?
well that's
Why not
just
have a
stupid.
debate?
But dude, why are you talking about? Well, no one said
Well, you
anything
said you
sexual.
were on the floor and some guy gave you a message.
Okay. Come on, man.
That you fat little. Seriously. Like,
All right.
should I just smack the dude in front of everyone just
No,
for
no,
the
no,
whole?
no, 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 no.
Because he wouldn't.
All right.
This is the thing about life.
No.
You shouldn't talk. You shouldn't back
No,
up.
no.
You shouldn't. In all reality, if you ain't willing to do something about it,
If you guys, how about
shouldn't
this?
say
How
it.
about this? How about this?
I mean, now you know it. You can't, because see, it's got to be. I listen, guys. I know this isn't going to be popular, but I can really identify with what Wes is going through because oh, man, you can't do it. You know, you want it. He wants to just go over there and smack the guy, but you can't. Right on the outside, you can't. Right, because you go back. Right, you get sent back, and then you know if I ever get sent back in front of a judge, I'm going straight to prison. So would Wes. Anybody who's already done time, you're not getting a slap on the wrist anymore, right? You're not getting probation anymore. You're not getting a light sentence anymore. You're going back. If you get in front of a judge, you're going back to prison. So you can't hit him. You can't hit him. So it's a frustrating situation, right? I feel his frustration here. Right? And that's what the whole internet you don't understand because the majority of you have never been on the inside. You don't know what it's like. You have no idea how we have to live in there. And then when we come out, you have no idea how hard it is to live out here with the way that some of you people act. Seriously. All right, so at the end of the day, it's hilarious what happened. It's funny. I mean, the guy, Andrew, he pretty much owned Wes because he kept his cool and he was a little bit smarter with his, you know, with his little quips and comebacks and stuff like that. But it's funny, and and there's my reaction to it. Right, being being an ex-felon myself, I really can get what went down there. Right, and we're lucky that nobody got hurt. We're lucky that there was no altercation. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a new perspective on things. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.